I feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy. Had to work hard, struggle just to be me. Had to and what was left over I put towards my dreaming. But the only thing in life that has meaning are the things you gotta work for, believe me. Take into your hands a plan, your own hands can land your own brand. And damn, I feel like no one takes accountability. They want the credibility, convincingly unwilling to put in the hours it takes to get some power. Don't be f***ing sour, take a cold shower. Scream until you're louder, work until you're prouder. And f*** all the doubters, they're just your downers. I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought.
I can tell you that 7 years after Freddie Gray, that was 2015, spring, April, May. This is 2022. Communities like Sandtown, all we saw then and now in terms of investment was a renovated Western District Police Station and a new funeral home. That's what West Baltimore got. A new police station and a new funeral home. What kind of optics are they? Was Freddie Gray any different than 1968 Baltimore riots? Dr. King's passing, killing, murder? This is the same?
No, it wasn't. I mean, I think, well, first of all, people who are being violent and burning, that's, you know, all that's the same. But the point is what was the cause and what were they attempting to register?
I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm off at these fucking clowns.
I love you.
They deserve an ounce. It's
got next.
It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown. I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm off at these fucking clowns.
First name's Doni, last name's Glover. In it to win it for the long haul, baby. What a beautiful day in the neighborhood. I hope that you are well. Did I tell you that I wrote a book? I want to tell you a little bit about this book. I don't talk about it enough. It's called I Am Black Wall Street. And as the top of the cover suggests, I look at how those people got from Florida to Oklahoma. Well, I guess the main point is I look at how they got to Oklahoma. Where did those black people who first got to Oklahoma, home of the future Black Wall Street, how did those people get to Oklahoma? Why Oklahoma? What was special about Oklahoma? And what I found was that they came from Florida, the first group. Now, there were others that came, but the first blacks that made it to Oklahoma came out of Florida. And so when I learned that, I had to ask, I had to go find out who they were. Was it documented? Who knows the story? Is it well known? And then it kept taking me, the research kept taking me to Florida. And I was like, what is it about Florida? Because at that point, when I first started researching Florida, I was hating Florida. No disrespect to Joey. Buenos dias, señorita. No disrespect to Joey and the other people on this network from Florida, but after Trayvon Martin, I just wasn't feeling them people at all. Got some little light thing going on there. And so come to find out that in Florida, that was, despite the image by Trayvon Martin that it left on me. I don't know about you, but after I saw Trayvon Martin, I didn't like anything about Florida. Didn't want to go to Sanford, Disney World, Miami, none of that. But then I started learning about Juan Garrido, for instance. You know, we hear a lot of things about, you know, there's a general storyline that blacks came here as slaves. You got to get that out your mind. I don't know who's feeding it to you and what they're trying to accomplish. But when somebody tell you that the first blacks came to America as slaves, you tell them they're wrong. Tell them to prove it. Tell them to prove it. They will tell you, even black scholars will give you misinformation. They don't mean no harm, bless their heart. They'll tell you, for instance, that blacks first formally came here enslaved in 1619. As a matter of fact, they named the whole project after it, 1619. And that's why you got to get this book, because I show that we came here at least 100 years earlier. So they say 1619. Let me tell you this. The Spanish and the Portuguese were all through South America. By the time the British got to North America, the Spanish and the Portuguese had been all through South America. So by the time they got up here, they were late. The British were late. They were 100 years late. Spanish and the Portuguese been going back and forth South America, especially the Portuguese down in Brazil, at least 100 years earlier. These countries had stopped slavery by the time. So that, you know, they were getting out of slavery as the British were getting into slavery. British were late. There are 40 million of us, allegedly, in America, black people. Do you know how many blacks are in Brazil alone? There are 100 million blacks in Brazil. That's evidence that there was a strong connection between Africa, and I'm imagining Angola, because it's right on that line, and Brazil. Portugal went up into Angola, Portuguese. A lot of times, as a black man, we want to blame the Europeans who went into Africa. I tried that with my daddy once. I think I was about 7 years old, talking about white people. And he said, and you only gonna get this on the Doni Glover show. He said, the first person you need to be mad at all those African kings who sold you. He said it more colorfully than that. But that's what he said. He says this to a 7-year-old, 1972. Like, what did he just say? What you putting up here, Janet? Hello, Joseph. So Florida, so much history in Florida. Did you know? See, this is stuff that they do not teach you in history because they don't know. Did you know that during slavery, and see, we forget that back then, the country was much smaller. Hey, Mike, we're talking about your state, your new state, your new home. Most of America was on the East Coast. Back when Andrew Jackson, the Donald Trump of his day, when he was around. Andrew Jackson said he gonna go down into Florida. Okay, let me get back to the point. Florida was not an American state until 1831. It was owned by Spain until 1831. What did that mean to enslaved Africans in America? It meant if you escaped to Florida, you could get your freedom. more than likely you'll get your freedom. They wanted you to convert to Christianity, because you know these people will claim to be all into God. I know what kind of God they serve. Got you putting chains on people. I don't like your God at all. Keep them. You had to convert to Christianity, and you had to be willing to fight for the Spanish crown. They didn't tell us this, but if I got word that I could get my freedom down in Florida, that's where we going. If I were enslaved, because I ain't never speaking that over me. I'm going to be free. You going to be free. My people going to be free. Florida. Juan Garrido. He was a free black man. Actually, he was a Spanish conquistador. See, they only give us bits and pieces, but we know Columbus didn't know where he was going. We all know he was lost. We all know he needed a guide. We all know that guide was Nindro Pedro Alonso, a black man. And we should all know that black people have been traveling across the Atlantic long before the transatlantic slave trade. Matter of fact, the blacks who were in Spain, the Moors, who owned ships, who owned all of those shipping lanes, long before there was an East India Company, British East India Company. Long before the British got to pimping, we had already traveled the world. Historians will tell you, like, they'll paint a picture as if the African was just on the continent not doing anything. I remember hearing it 2 HBCUs. Don't make me call their name. White professors telling me how the Greeks founded civilization. I was embarrassed. I was ashamed. I was mad that I was paying Morehouse $8,000 a year to tell me some lies I could get at state school. At 18 years old, I was well aware that these people were lying to me. Thank God for Spelman to take my mind off of it, because it was going to be war that day. I ran into it at Morgan. Dr. Overton tried to tell me that the Europeans founded civilization. Dude, that's like saying your child taught you how to eat. You know, ridiculous. Go sit down. What Kendrick Lamar say? Sit down, shut up, be humble. I like that Kendrick Lamar. Let me tell you something else about Florida. You will not learn this in school, but you will get it here in this book. I Am Black Wall Street. Did you know that there were black pirates? Did you know there were black pirates? Yes. Remember those terms from the movie? Swashbucklers, buccaneers, walking the plank. Yes, there were black pirates. And I will tell you that a black pirate, since in this country it's clear that doesn't matter if you got your money from criminal enterprise like prohibition, selling liquor, selling dope. As long as you got the money, you can whitewash the money, as they say. Yes, that's why you got to get this book. I ain't telling you for so much. You're going to buy my book. It's only $21 and there's a lot of research in here. But yes, there were black pirates. And the most famous in Florida was, well, you got to get the book. I'm not telling you that. I'll tell you that black pirate was worth $6-7 million. And I will tell you that black pirate lived in Biscayne Bay, which is right there in Miami. But we never taught that. Never taught about black pirates. Even though Bob Marley sang about it, we didn't listen to the song. Old pirates, yes, they rob out. Some of the pirates were black. Of course they were. High seas. If a ship, and see, let me tell you, the pirates freed some slaves too. They won't tell you that. Cargo, which was us. coming across the Atlantic. And if one group gets free, then their job is to, seems common sense to me, there's another ship over there and they got my people enslaved. Oh, okay. You already know how it's going down. They have to have some gold, food, money. I can't imagine the food. You've been on a ship that long. What were they eating? Oh my God. But we taking all of that. All of that. So do pick up a copy of I Am Black Wall Street. You know, we're getting, it's getting late. What's this, October 20th? An election is coming about, November the 8th. And it's about to get very, very serious, folks. For those in the race, like down in Georgia, you got Stacey Abrams and Raphael Warnock fighting down there in Georgia. Can't believe that this bumbling idiot named Herschel Walker, see, that's what we get for cheering for that boy. We knew when we were cheering for that boy back during his football days, we knew something was off about him. We knew it. Way he talked, that whole demeanor. Knew something was wrong with him. Now, this fool could possibly be the next U.S. Senator for Georgia. I implore everybody, black, white, rainbow, purple, and green, to re-elect Raphael Warnock down in Georgia. Elect Stacey Abrams. She's worked long and hard. November 8th, folks, it goes down. So wherever you at, vote. In the state of Maryland, vote. Vote like your lives depend. Can you imagine the state of Maryland with a Dan Cox? I mean, we've had some dumb politicians. We've had some bumbling idiots. We don't need any more. I was downtown at an event last night for a new newspaper in town. And they were doing their African-American outreach. There I was reminded of how much talent we have in our community. How fortunate. Yes, can't wait to hear the results of the election. Yes. We got to vote. We cannot let these fools. I could not imagine that Dan Cox is governor of Maryland. Westmore's coming with the commercials. Keep bringing the heat, Westmore. If you don't like Westmore, don't bring it around me. I'm liable to revert to my old ways. And nobody wants to go backwards. But don't come around me talking about no Dan Cox. It might be just a quick reflect. Oh, my bad, my bad. You said that, oh, my bad. We don't want that. Don't come around me talking about no Dan Cox. He couldn't say one complete sentence. I was embarrassed. And he embarrassed his own party. And you saying he beat Kelly Schultz? Why did he beat Kelly Schultz? Because he had that old filthy, funky Donald Trump who should be under somebody's jail. If Donald Trump were black, we wouldn't even be having this discussion because they would already have snatched him and put him on the next flight to Mars. Let the Martians have him. So sick of this. What does it mean? And then who do you represent? Make America great again. Do your own damn work. I see all of these damn cooking shows. Cook your own damn food. Breastfeed your own damn children. I never seen people. You use somebody to breastfeed your child and then you tell them they can't drink your water. This is the foolishness, the tomfoolery that comes out of American racism. And it continues today. You got a restaurant in downtown Baltimore. You know, the one Fox owned. Sinclair told that black lady that her son couldn't come in because he wasn't dressed appropriately. And the black lady said, wait a minute. How you spell it? W-A-Y-M-I-N. Wait a minute. Look a little white boy. Little white boy got the same thing my kid got on. This is the sickness. And these people think they are civilized. Not in my atmosphere. So vote. And look at all of the issues. There are questions on this ballot that we got to pay attention to, like question K, like question E. Get your ballot, open it up, and start doing your research. I'm not going to tell you what to vote for, who not. Well, I guess I already did, but you get the point. Vote. Have an opinion. You like Dan Cox? And take your hind parts over there and vote for him. I'm not, and don't let me find out you did, because we're going to make some sad faces for you. We have to take voting seriously. In some countries, even though people are locked up, they let them vote. Did you know that? Some European countries, they let people vote. In this country, they will find any reason to limit your ability to vote. Some countries will let you vote in prison, but not America. America is the most incarcerating nation on earth. America is the most incarcerating nation on earth. And black people star in that movie. I shared yesterday, do you know the second most incarcerating nation on earth? Do you know the second most incarcerating nation on earth, especially when it comes to black people? Well, I'm going to tell you, it's the country that some of y'all were on Facebook crying about, the Queen, Britain. Oh, they're crying, the Queen. What Queen they talking about? Queen Latifah? Who they talking about? Pam Grier? Who are they talking about? Queen Mother Moore? I know they ain't talking about that chick over in England that stole all our black people stuff from Africa and the Caribbean, got all our jewels in her basement. I know these Negroes ain't crying over her. Kind of reminded me of when William Donald Schaefer died here in Baltimore, and I saw black people climbing in the hearse. Shame on you. Get your damn self together. Gotta vote. Look at all the questions. Do your research now. Don't get up in the poll. I got people in my family. They call little old me. Find out who to vote for. It's a damn shame. You got access to much of the same information as anybody else. Do your damn research. Go look up the people. Stop calling me and ask who to vote for. We all should be politically engaged. There was a time when everybody in that community was politically engaged, all the way down to the paper boy. Now we act like we can't read. One of my mentors, friend, but I learned a lot from this lady. She talked about reading contracts. She runs a development company. And she talked about reading contracts all night long. I'm like, that's a lot of damn reading. She said, but if you read everything, they can't pull the wool over your eyes. How do they get us? How do they get us in contracts? Whether it's real estate, whether it's your pension, your career, your money. Get us with the fine print. They get us with the fine print. And if you can't read, get somebody who can read. And also know a lawyer. You know, we got the hookup when it comes to parties. We got the hookup when it comes to getting into who giving the party, how we get in, how much you got to pay, where they live at. We're going to get to that party. Well, we got to treat voting the same damn way. Who's running? What's their track record? Are they good? Let me call my people down in Prince George's County. Hey, what do you think of so-and-so? Oh, yeah, you grew up with him. Was he good then? Oh, okay. She good? Use our network the same way, as opposed to letting some of the dumbest people in the world get into office. And then they get in there and say stuff that's just stupid. Quite often, let me tell you something. If you're running for office, and I don't care who you are, especially some of these young people, millennials, city council people, delegates, they say, learn your damn history, son. Oh my God, how you gonna be a politician and you don't know who Harry Scythe Cummins is? How you gonna be a politician in Baltimore and you don't know who Harry Scythe Cummins is? And if you don't know, you should be embarrassed and you should quit and go home. How the hell you getting the job? You don't know who George McMecken was. If you black and on the city council and you don't know who George McMecken is, do us all a favor. Go jump in the damn harbor right now. If you're on the city council and you don't know who Big Gaddy was, more importantly, if you don't know how she won, and I mean won office without the East Side Democratic Organization. If you're in office and you don't know that story, just go out there and jump off of a train. How can you possibly know where you're going if you don't know where we've been? You can't. You don't know what happened, what's possible, what people's patterns of behavior are, and the likelihood of freedom, the power of freedom. The people who helped us to get freedom, including some good white people. I hear a lot about Friends School. Now, the founders of Friends School fought against slavery in America. We had some serious white allies. One of them is in my book, Captain John Brown. I write that he's the greatest white man who ever lived. I said it. Prove me wrong. Write your own book. Do you know who Captain John Brown was? Do you know what he did? Do you know where he did it? A lot of people know about Harper's Ferry, Virginia. Did you know that John Brown made Kansas, helped make Kansas, the prime destination for black people going out west? Because black people trying to leave the deep south and make it to freedom, only to find that Indians were trying to put them in slavery, more white people trying to put them in slavery. The black hero of the book, well, I'm not telling you no more of the book, but I'll tell you his name. His name was Chief John Horse, and he came out of Florida, and he went to Oklahoma, and he went also to Texas and Mexico. Yes, Mexico. Chief John Horse. Look him up, or just buy the book. I Am Black Wall Street. I wrote this book because we do these Black Wall Street Awards, these plaques. We've presented over 1,900 of these plaques in 6 cities. We celebrate black entrepreneurs and professionals, as well as the people who support them regardless of race. I personally would like to see more black entrepreneurs, more people in business for themselves, creating opportunities for themselves, helping to empower their own households, their own communities for themselves. Many of us have taken on this, I can't do this, I can't do that, I'm limited. I don't know where you come from. You ain't in tune with your ancestors. Our ancestors come from greatness. When I think about that PBS movie, the old one, not the new one, because the new one phony. The old one of Harriet Tubman doing that hip toss and putting that Colt 45 in Slim face, you going where? You going to turn back on Harriet Tubman. He thought he was. She put that Colt 45 in his grill. He had some temporary amnesia. He shook that off. Oh, my bad, Harriet. I know damn well. We got to know our history, because if we don't know our history, we allow anybody to come along and tell us anything about our history. Go look up Araminta Ross. That's Harriet Tubman. Go look up how she got to upstate New York, how she has property in places like Lewiston, New York, right there at the Niagara River, because she crossed over that river, taking people up into Canada. Facebook tried to G-check me. I told him, Harriet Tubman said, I freed 1,000 slaves. I could have freed 1,000 more if only they knew they were slaves. And then some social media expert, oh, Harriet Tubman only freed 70 people. Go sit your ass down and do some reading. Go read about the Kumbaya River, where Harriet Tubman and the Union Army freed 700 people at one time. Don't tell me what these morons who don't know, because they don't know. Harriet Tubman was a part of freeing 1,000 slaves. She told you. What's wrong with these fools trying to erase our history? Go erase your history and stop digging up our ancestors in Egypt, wanting to steal their gold. These people want to change the rules. They know not to mess with me because you can't. You can't stop this train. It's ordained. We're going to share Black history forever and ever and ever. In the metaverse too. And on that note, big ups to Dr. Tyrone Taborn for STEM City, USA. If you got those Oculus goggles, you can watch this show in the metaverse. Yes, we got Black people in the metaverse. Of course you do. Black people probably designed the metaverse. The more they try to block us out of stuff, it's like this movie Hidden Figures. Oh, you knew this all along, that these Black people that created all of this at NASA and blah, blah, blah. But 50 years later, you come out with a movie and we supposed to be like, wow, didn't know that. It's because people been sitting on history, trying to claim history. Ain't discovered nothing but trouble, smallpox. They got me on a roll this morning. Yes, I am on fire today, you damn Skippy. 443-858-2684. Tasmere, Queen Latifah, New York City. Well, I'm going to tell you the results of the election. We win. We win the governor, first Black governor. We win the attorney general. Decisions already made. Brooke Lemon will be the comptroller. Considering that we got the governor and the attorney general, I'm happy. Unprecedented history. We've been working, some of us have been working for decades. I've done about 25 years. Watching this thing to this point of a Black governor. And we didn't even have to watch it long for Barack Obama. When you consider that, what was that, 08? I started in 94, so maybe 15 years before I saw a Black president in terms of being a journalist, but it took even longer to get a Black governor in Maryland, because, you know, Maryland was a southern state below the Mason-Dixon line. Although Baltimore had the largest number of free Blacks prior to the Civil War. So there's a lot of history here that will be celebrated when Westmore wins this election on November the 8th, because all of us are going to go out and vote. And we want to encourage everybody we know, everyone under the power of our voice, we're going to encourage them to vote. We're going to take them to the poll. We're going to take our seniors to the poll. Or we're going to get them those mail-in ballots. We're going to make sure they're there on time. And Armstead Jones that messed up a lot of elections. He better not mess up this one, because I don't know where he's going to sleep. He messed up the one with Sheila Dixon twice. Armstead Jones still got a job. I could not have this business making the kind of mistakes that Armstead Jones has. And you need to know who he is. And you need to ask, why the hell is he still in there? He's so tired of these people that don't want to let young people in there. Come on, man. Pass the ball. You've been there too long. Go do something else. Damn. What, you going to die in office? Some people want to die in office like it's their job. No, it's not. It don't belong to you. That city council job don't belong to you. You are a citizen, and you will be a citizen again. So watch how you crack slick on people, and make sure you return people's phone calls. Some of you people get in office and you don't even want to return phone calls. How you getting off? You been in there, you ain't did nothing for black people, but you can't answer your phone. You busy right now. Take your ass on home. Get out of office. We don't need you around here. We done seen better pimps than you, because you ain't even a good pimp. Everybody want to be a politician, then they get in there and act like they, I don't know, royalty, like they the Queen of England or something. You get in there, you're supposed to be a blessing to your people. You get in there and you want to act like you the biggest damn clown. That's what. Yeah. This young lady right here, Tasmania Gathers. She is the leader of our network. Tasmania is younger than me, and so I know I better pass the ball. If you still want to do the same damn job and you ain't groomed nobody to take your place, you've missed life. After you've been on the battlefield, we got you a black president, getting ready to get you a black governor. Step back and let the next one, who you've trained, they watched you. They know how you carry it. They know what you're not going to go for. And chances are they not going to go for it either. Then step back and trust them. It's like your kids. You ain't got to step back and trust your kids. But sooner or later, your kids will be there to take care of you. Or they will be around and when you can't help yourself. And that's a whole other discussion. But long story short, generally speaking, if you raise your children to do the right thing, they ought to be around to take care of you down the road. And if not, then the good Lord will provide somebody. But you got to be the best that you can be. And when you're in charge, put some sugar on it. Don't be mean just because you can be mean. Sometimes you may have to be mean to make a point. But don't be mean just to be mean. Be nice. Help somebody. There's a lady on our network, Quandra Gaines. Quandra has helped this lady right here. She has helped so many people, including me. She used to work over at the Men's Center. And the Men's Center can handle everything from A to Z, from soup to nuts. They help people with gas and electric. They've helped people with water bills. They've helped people get in touch with BG&E. They've helped people with health visits to the doctor. Anything you dealing with. Anybody in East Baltimore. And Leon Purnell still does it over there. 410-614-2222. 410-614-2222. Anybody in East Baltimore. Thanksgiving coming up. A bunch of entities over in East Baltimore with baskets. You know, last night I was on the train going down there to see this new newspaper. And they're homeless people. And right now with the weather changing, the homeless people are getting a wake-up call, especially if they've been chasing crack, dope, and coke for the past several weeks. The weather's nice, so people have been able to manage to survive. If you're on a train, it's nothing for people to come up to you and say, can I get something to eat? Do you have anything to eat? Do you have some change? And what I'm about to say, some of you are not going to like, but it's the harsh reality. A lot of people are homeless because they don't want to follow the rules. And I've heard this thing about, you know, certain shelters are worse than prison. I get it. But if the first problem is getting high, then before they do anything for you, you got to arrest that getting high problem. Because it's only going to be a cycle, a circle. You're going in circles. You got to first stop getting high. That means treatment. If you go into treatment, guess what? Your homeless situation, at least for a minute, is alleviated. And then you get into a treatment. I mean, you know, once you get, say you get 7 days clean, and that's miraculous, but it can be done. It's done every day. They don't tell you this. People stop getting high every day. Just like we see people getting high every day, we see people stopping getting high every day. Just gotta pay attention. There's a man on the avenue named Snake. He could not sit all the way up. That's how much dope he done shot. He was permanently bent over. As long as he kept putting that thing in him. Once he stopped putting that thing in him, once he stopped shooting that dope, all of a sudden he got his posture back. I saw a Snake. Snake was riding a bike. Had on all new clothes. Warmed my soul, because Snake used to live right across the street from me in the bando. I'm glad I spoke to Snake. I'm glad I listened to Snake back then, because we talked a little bit about that. People are watching us. People are watching everything we do. I was sharing with Marsha Bannerman. She's the community activist here in Sandtown who trained me back in '94. Marsha Bannerman took me on my first assignment. The first assignment was up in my own alley. They had a dope line in my alley at the other end of the block, but nonetheless, a dope line. And she showed me how to navigate. I had a big old TV camera, and our job was to get up in this alley. We weren't looking at the drugs. We were looking at some houses, but we had to go past the drugs. And I'll never forget how Marsha Bannerman, like a seasoned scout, like one of them indigenous Americans who knew the landscape, she knew how to get us in and out. If you want to stop getting high, people, there are places. And for the homeless that are out here, nobody can truly help you if you're still getting high. There's some homeless people that don't want help. They just want to cause a goddamn mess. And they pull on people like Christina Flowers, who genuinely will help anybody. I've seen it with my own eyes. Say what you want about Christina Flowers. I've called on her countless times to help people. Last night I was telling a homeless lady about Christina Flowers, and one of Christina Flowers' soldiers came up and gave the lady a card. If you can't be a blessing, then probably just should shut up. There are people out here who will help you if you're struggling. If you know somebody who's struggling, there are people who will help. Problems have solutions. Remember that song by Stevie Wonder? Problems have solutions. Trust and I will show. Ooh, you will know. You'll know when it's time. You can't keep sniffing cocaine forever. Might look slick, might think you slick. It ain't slick. It's tired and old, and you know better. And the holidays coming up, and you ain't get them kids nothing last year. So it's time to tighten up on that backstroke. Go take a bath, and maybe just need to sit in an NA meeting or a AA meeting on the front row and just sit there and listen. And then go to another meeting. And then go to another meeting. Start a new habit. People do it every day. A lot of us just need somebody to talk to. Self-included. You're only human. One thing I enjoy doing is calling a couple of my senior friends. I've always been like that. Get it from grandma when the praying man used to come around our house on Mondays at 4 o'clock. I couldn't watch Captain Chesapeake. Praying man, oh God, it seemed like the praying man was praying for like 16 hours. I would tell you about the time I went over to Praying Man house to see his grandson, went up the stairs. Guess what the Praying Man was doing? Praying. I saw at a young age, I was about 11 years old. I was like, he is very serious about praying. He is very serious. He is very, very serious about praying. I do believe in prayer and the power of prayer. I'm going to have a prayer with you right now, right here. And then I'm going to get on up out of here. All wise and almighty God, we thank you, Lord, for another day. Touch somebody out there. Help them. Help them to see the power they have within themselves to make a change in their own lives. Lord, sometimes we're so focused on our children. Teach us, Lord, to take care of ourselves and to put them children and them grandchildren on the altar. They said, if we raise our children, we can spoil our grandchildren. But if we spoil our children, we will raise our grandchildren. Lord, I don't want to raise my grandchildren, neither do these people. So bless us to get it right on the front end and raise these children to not lie, to not steal, to know right from wrong, to go to school, to study. And if they got learning impediments, then let's get them to somewhere like Dr. Grady Dale or a psychiatrist who can help them. And teach these parents, Lord, to stop letting these knucklehead teachers put their children on Ritalin, because they ain't doing nothing but creating pre-dope fiends. Get us through this, Lord. And we pray a special prayer that Herschel Walker will just quit the election, that Raphael Warnock, Stacey Abrams, and Wes Moore all will ascend to where they should have been. And we're not saying that we want you to take Donald Trump to another planet, but just go sit him down somewhere, Lord, for a long time. And we promise to give you all the praise and all the glory. My name is Donnie Glover. Love somebody, hug somebody. I don't want your money, but help your neighbor. Be kind to your neighbor. Knock on your neighbor's door. Make sure they're good. You go pull your trash can out, pull their trash can out. You wash your steps, wash their steps. We got to get back to the old school. They need a cup of sugar, give them a cup of sugar. You might need some flour. They give you some flour. You got to get back to basics. We done made this thing real complicated. And I'm going to give you a new challenge. Here, you want a TikTok challenge? Put the damn phone down. Put the damn phone down. You got Thanksgiving coming up? Make them leave their phone at the front in the living room. Don't come to this table with no damn phone. Speak to your cousin. You ain't even looked up. You down in the hole. I wish I would go on a date with somebody and they got their head down the damn phone. We get too caught up. I'm watching even in my own family. My people just, you see the people. How many times you gonna make that damn dumb face? Enough. Buy a house. I'm looking in the damn mirror all this. What's all of this obsession stuff? We're on WEAA tonight. Big ups to my main man, Mike Nice. WEAA 88.9 FM tonight with the Be More News Report. Every Thursday at midnight. We'll share some of these. Okay, we'll put that out there. Yeah, pass the ball. Stop being stingy. Scared to share power. There will be no legacy. 614-5353. That's the number to the men's center. If you're in East Baltimore, you need help. They help you with everything from A to Z. Call that number right there. Quandra ain't there no more. She didn't hit. Oh, I still help people. Well, see, there you go. There you go. She has helped people, and I am one of the people she saved. That sometimes you just don't know. You don't know what's out there. And the beauty of something like Quandra, I've seen her help countless people who just didn't know. If you knew better, you do better. And when you do get a chance to do better, don't forget to help somebody else. That's the part I like. Sometimes the first people in line for help are the last ones willing to render help. Don't help them kind of people. Don't help them at all. Ungrateful people, sickening. My name's Donnie Glover. Be nice to somebody. Have a beautiful day. And check on them seniors. And get ready for them holidays. And don't be trying to buy all of them kids $200 belts and all of that, especially if their grades suck. Have a good day. Better bring me A's while I name my